Hey there, and welcome. Do you ever feel like you're just collecting English words one by one? Kind of like stamps in a book? Well, today we're going to look at a way smarter method, learning words in families. It's all about seeing the connections, the patterns that make vocabulary actually stick and sound natural when you use it. Okay, let's just jump right in with a classic question. What's the real difference between robbing a bank and stealing money? I mean, they sound pretty similar, but native speakers use them in very specific ways. Getting this right is the perfect example of why thinking in word families is such a game changer. And don't worry, we're going to solve this little puzzle in just a bit. And that really is the secret. The key to unlocking all this is to stop learning words in total isolation. Instead, we're going to think about them in these groups, these families that all share a common theme. This way, you're learning the whole concept, not just one single definition. All right, let's start inside our own heads, in the abstract world of our minds. This first family of words is all about how we form ideas, theories, and beliefs. So, what is the actual difference between speculating and guessing? Well, think of it like this. When you speculate, you've got some clues to work with. A detective might speculate about a suspect's motive based on the evidence they found. But when you guess how many jelly beans are in a giant jar, you have practically zero information. That's a pure guess. And knowing this really matters, because in a professional setting, saying you're speculating sounds a whole lot more credible than saying you're just guessing. So where does a word like hypothesis fit into this family? Well, you can think of it as a formal, almost scientific speculation. It's an idea that you can actually go out and test. So, for example, a scientist might form a hypothesis that a new drug will cure a disease, and then they'll design a whole experiment just to prove or disprove it. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, we have an assumption. This is something we just decide is true without needing any proof at all. We might make the assumption that the train will be on time just because it usually is. It's a starting point for our thinking, sure, but it's not based on any hard evidence. Oh, this is a great one. The distinction here is fantastic. Absurd describes something that just completely breaks logic. The idea of a fish riding a bicycle, that's absurd. Nonsense, on the other hand, is about a total lack of any meaning. If I say something like, the purple sleeps furiously, well, that's just nonsense. The words are there, but they don't form a thought that makes any sense. Okay, let's move from our thoughts to our actions with our next section, words for actions and reactions. This family of words is all about what we do and how we respond to the world around us. And here it is, the answer to our opening question. The critical difference is what you're focusing on. You rob a person or a place. So you rob a bank or you rob a person. But you steal the object. You steal the money, you steal a car. So the criminals robbed the bank, and then they stole $1 million. See? Simple when you put it that way, right? Now this is brilliant because it shows how words can ramp up in intensity. You might blame the traffic for being late. That's pretty general. But if you accuse someone, you're getting very specific. You are the one who left the door unlocked. And then to berate someone, that's taking it another step into angry, emotional criticism. Understanding this escalation helps you describe conflicts with so much more precision. What about being scared or frightened? They seem so similar. Well, a loud noise might scare you for just a second. It's sudden and it passes quickly. But a truly dangerous situation, that would frighten you. Frighten just carries more weight. It's a more serious, deeper kind of fear. It's also the more formal of the two. Constrain is such a great vocabulary word because it works in two different worlds. Physically, sure, handcuffs can constrain a person's hands, but abstractly we talk about being constrained all the time. A tight budget can constrain your spending, or a lack of time can constrain what you're able to get done in a day. All right, let's move on to our third section. It's time to talk a little business and finance. These words are absolutely essential if you want to navigate the professional world. Okay, this is a big one that trips up a lot of learners. A salary is a fixed amount of money for the whole year, and it just gets divided up into monthly payments. Most office jobs pay a salary. A wage, though, is typically paid by the hour, so if you work more hours, you earn more money. Think of summer jobs or working in retail. And right here we see a perfect word family in action. Finance is the verb. You need to finance your new business. Financial is the most common adjective you'll hear. You might look for financial advice. But then there's fiscal. It's a special kind of adjective, almost always used when talking about government or public money, like in the fiscal year.
Here, the key difference is the kind of gain we're talking about. Exercise is beneficial for your health. It has a good effect. A successful business venture, on the other hand, is profitable. It makes money. And you've got to remember, while something profitable is usually beneficial, something beneficial isn't always profitable. That's so crucial in business. An idea might be beneficial for company morale, even if it isn't profitable right away.
All right, for our final section, let's zoom in on some descriptive words, the adjectives that help us really paint a picture of the world around us. Now, this is a subtle difference, but it's a beautiful one. The surrounding trees are the actual, physical objects around you. But ambient describes the quality of the space, the vibe. A cafe might have soft ambient lighting or quiet ambient music playing. It's about the mood, not the stuff. This is a simple but super important rule to keep in your back pocket. Things and experiences are unpleasant. A weird smell is unpleasant. A long wait in the rain is unpleasant. But people are unfriendly. We use that word specifically to describe how someone is treating other people. Their attitude is unfriendly, but the rainy weather is just unpleasant. And finally, we have tasteful. Now, this adjective is all about good judgment, about style, and it has nothing to do with how food tastes. It means something looks good, that it's well chosen. We might describe a room's decoration as being very tasteful, or a person's choice of clothing. It suggests a kind of elegance and sophistication. So as we start to wrap this up, just remember this one thing. Learning vocabulary shouldn't feel like you're memorizing a random, endless list. When you learn in families, you're actually creating a mental map. You start to see how words connect, how they contrast, and how they build on each other. It's just a richer, deeper, and honestly, a much more effective way to learn. Every new word and every new connection you make is another tool you're adding to your toolbox. You're not just learning a language, you're learning the blueprint for how people actually describe and shape their reality. So the only question left is, what amazing things are you going to build with it? Thanks for joining me.